You probably think that 100% unsweetened cocoa powder is the ultimate healthy shortcut for your smoothies and brownies. But in the US market, there is a massive difference between a pure, living cocoa and what I call industrial brown dust. Most people don't realize that many big name brands use aggressive chemical processing and high heat roasting that strip away the very benefits you're paying for. Even worse, because the cacao plant is like a sponge for its environment, some of the most popular tins on the shelf have been flagged for containing trace elements that simply shouldn't be in your kitchen. Today, we are auditing 11 cocoa powder brands, starting with the mass market giants that prioritize convenience and shelf life over the integrity of the bean. Brand number 1 is the industrial giant, Hershey's. Hershey's is the most recognizable cocoa in America, but it is the quintessential example of high-volume industrial sourcing. While it is marketed as 100% cacao, the problem is transparency. Independent lab tests have repeatedly pointed out that Hershey's sources from massive global brokers where it's difficult to track soil quality. This matters because cacao can absorb trace amounts of lead and cadmium from the ground. Beyond that, Hershey's uses high-speed, high-heat roasting. This makes the production fast and cheap, but it can degrade the delicate antioxidants, flavonols, that make cocoa a superfood in the first place. You get the chocolate flavor, but you're losing the nutritional soul of the plant. Brand number 2 is Nestlé Toll House, 100% pure cocoa. Nestlé is a global powerhouse, but their cocoa is built for price point consistency, not biological quality. The biggest issue here is aggressive alkalization, also known as Dutch processing. Nestlé often uses chemical salts to neutralize the natural acidity of the cocoa. While this makes the powder darker and milder, it can destroy up to 60 to 90% of the natural antioxidants. By the time this powder reaches your pantry, it's essentially dead cocoa, a flavoring agent that has lost its heart-healthy medicinal value. It's perfect for a cheap cookie, but not for a high-performance diet. Brand number 3 is Swiss Miss, hot cocoa mixes. We have to include this because it's how millions of Americans consume their cocoa, and it is a processing nightmare. If you look at the back of the box, cocoa isn't even the first ingredient, it's sugar and corn syrup. This brand takes the lowest grade, most heavily Dutched cocoa and hides it under a mountain of hydrogenated oils and stabilizers. This isn't a superfood, it's an ultra-processed sugar bomb that uses industrial brown dust as a flavoring. For anyone looking for black gold quality, Swiss Miss is at the bottom of the list for its reliance on inflammatory fats and refined sweeteners. Brand number 4 is Great Value, Walmart cocoa powder. Walmart's private label is where quality control is often at its most mysterious. Because private labels switch suppliers based on whoever offers the lowest bid, you never truly know where your cocoa came from. This lack of a direct supply chain means there is very little oversight on environmental contaminants. To mask the inconsistent quality of these budget beans, they are often over-roasted, resulting in a burnt, one-dimensional flavor. You are buying a commodity product that treats this ancient food of the gods like a cheap industrial filler. As we move into the middle tier, we start to see labels like organic and non-GMO. The good news here is that these brands are typically grown without synthetic pesticides. However, there is a major misconception in the cocoa world. Organic does not automatically mean heavy metal free. In fact, because some organic cacao is grown in volcanic soils rich in minerals, it can naturally absorb more cadmium than conventional beans. These brands are cleaner for the environment, but they are still caught in the middle because they don't always provide the full lab test transparency that the black gold winners do. Brand number 5 is Ghirardelli, Premium Baking Cocoa. Ghirardelli is a massive step up in flavor and quality from basic supermarket brands. Based in California, they have a premium reputation and their cocoa is often a favorite for its deep, rich profile. However, in the middle tier Audit, Ghirardelli sits in a gray area. While some of their specific dark chocolate products have been noted for lower lead levels in past reports, their 100% cocoa powder has shown detectable levels of lead in various independent tests. They are better than the bottom tier industrial giants, But for a brand with such a high profile, bakers are still waiting for them to lead the way in total heavy metal transparency. Brand number 6 is 365 Whole Foods Market, organic cocoa powder. This is the safe bet for millions of shoppers. It's USDA organic, non-GMO, and reasonably priced. However, organic can be a double-edged sword. In recent 2025 and 2026 investigations, Whole Foods house brand has been flagged for containing detectable levels of lead and cadmium. While these levels often fall within legal limits, they are still present. This brand represents the organic compromise. You're avoiding the synthetic pesticides and the bone char processing of the big industrial brands, but you are still consuming a product that lacks the single source soil testing required to be truly clean. Brand number 7 is Navitas Organics Powder. Navitas is a superfood giant. They sell cacao rather than cocoa, meaning it is processed at lower temperatures to preserve more nutrients. This makes it a nutritional powerhouse compared to Hershey's. However, Navitas has been at the center of the heavy metal conversation for years. Because they source from high-quality volcanic soils in South America, their cacao is often naturally higher in cadmium. To their credit, Navitas is one of the more transparent brands. They openly discuss the heavy metal issue on their website, but until the levels are consistently lower, they remain a middle-tier choice. It's a great product for nutrients, but you have to be mindful of the cumulative intake. Brand number 8 is Trader Joe's Organic Cocoa Powder. Trader Joe's is famous for high quality at low prices, but they are notorious for their supply chain mystery. Because they use private labels, we don't always know exactly which farm or region their cocoa is coming from. While it is organic and fair trade, independent tests have frequently found their cocoa products to be on the higher end for heavy metals compared to artisanal brands. Like Whole Foods, it's a massive upgrade from the industrial brown dust, but it lacks the farm-to-tin traceability that defines the top tier. We have reached the top tier of our audit. The brands in this category treat cocoa as a functional food rather than just a cheap confectionery ingredient. They recognize that because cacao plants are biological sponges, the only way to ensure safety is through rigorous soil oversight and consistent batch testing. These winners prioritize low temperature processing and direct relationships with farms to ensure that what ends up in your tin is as close to the original food of the gods as possible. Brand number 9 is Guittard Unsweetened Cocoa. Guittard is a family-owned legacy brand based in San Francisco that has managed to maintain an incredibly high standard while growing to a national level. They are highly respected for their estate-grown philosophy. Unlike the mass-market giants that buy anonymous beans from global brokers, Guittard works with specific regions known for better soil health and lower environmental contamination risks. Their Coco Rouge is a favorite among professional pastry chefs because it's processed with traditional French methods. While it is alkalized, Dutched, they use a much gentler process than the industrial giants, which darkens the cocoa without completely destroying the complex flavor notes or stripping away all the natural antioxidants. Guittard's commitment to quality is reflected in their bean-to-bar oversight, ensuring that no harsh chemicals or animal-based filters ever touch the product. It's a professional-grade cocoa that respects both your palate and your long-term health. Brand number 10 is Terrasoul Superfoods Cacao Powder. Terrasoul has become a leader for health-conscious shoppers because they address the industry's biggest challenge head-on: heavy metal transparency. They understand that in 2026, savvy consumers want to see the data, not just a marketing claim. Terrasoul is one of the rare brands that performs third-party lab testing for purity on every single batch they produce. Their powder is typically labeled as cacao rather than cocoa, which indicates that it is cold-pressed. By avoiding the high temperatures used in industrial roasting, Terrasoul keeps the delicate enzymes and the maximum amount of heart-healthy flavonols alive. When you open a bag of Terrasoul, you can immediately smell the difference. It has a fruity, complex, and vibrant aroma, rather than the flat, burnt scent of the industrial brown dust found in the bottom tier. They provide a high nutrient fuel that is backed by real-world lab results. Brand number 11, the top pick, is Valrhona pure cocoa powder. Valrhona is widely considered the gold standard of the culinary world, and for good reason. They are a certified B Corp, which means they are legally required to balance profit with environmental and social transparency. What truly makes Valrhona the winner in this audit is their vertical integration. They don't just buy beans, they own many of their own plantations and maintain decades-long partnerships with specific estates in Africa and Latin America. This allows them to monitor soil quality and harvesting practices from day one. In independent laboratory testing, Valrhona has consistently ranked as one of the few global brands with heavy metal levels, lead and cadmium, that fall well below the strictest safety thresholds. Their processing is incredibly precise, resulting in a pH-balanced powder that is nutrient-dense and remarkably clean. For anyone who uses cocoa daily in smoothies or baking, Valrhona offers the peace of mind that comes from a fully traceable, estate-monitored supply chain.